My wife's so healthy.
It's a good thing.
And chickens.
At Sarah's Country Hair near Little Chicago in Marathon County, her Frontier-owned landline is a big part of her business.
Hello.
And while her phone's constant outages and crackling sounds are a never-ending source of frustration,
This is what it does.
she says it pales in comparison to what a dead landline means to a handful of elderly neighbors that she checks in on frequently.
Some people didn't have a phone for, probably 6 weeks. You have to go check on them to make sure that they're going to be okay.
Life and death. Those were two words that popped up again and again in a 7 Investigates analysis of scores of complaints from the past 2 years to the state's Bureau of Consumer Protections about Frontier Communications phone service. Out of 72 people who complained about extended phone service outages in Wisconsin, more than half of them specifically said they were elderly. 25 of those customers mentioned having Lifeline or a major medical condition or concern. For all but one of the 25, their landline phone was their only way to reliably call for help because they live in extremely poor or dead cell coverage areas. On average, my analysis found that residents with medical issues waited more than 3 weeks to have phone service restored. Many of them waited much longer. One Rock County resident with a Lifeline waited 6 weeks. Others with medical conditions waited 3 months. The comments are chilling. Over and over, residents say they're afraid for their safety because their phone lines are down, they live in a cellular dead zone, and they can't call 911. One person in Marathon County says, quote, "This is a matter of life or death," end quote. Another in Marathon, "We need your help. Please help." In Lincoln County, if there were a fire or other emergency here, it would be a disaster. In Manitowoc County, nothing ever happens. We are both disabled. They don't care about us or anyone. In Iowa County, my home was effectively cut off from contact with the outside world.
And if somebody dies because they're not able to connect with the 911 system for emergency dispatch, that's a tragedy that could be prevented.
John Robinson, chairman of the Marathon County Infrastructure Committee, is helping lead a county-wide effort to respond to these types of complaints that they're hearing from residents.
So from a public health and safety perspective, we're concerned.
They're really struggling with ways to contact 911 in the need of an emergency.
But while Robinson has succeeded in getting a promise from Frontier to attend the county meeting in March, the effort to address the problem is largely stripped of any legal power thanks to a 2011 law. Bill Milhausen at the Marathon County Sheriff's Office and Gerald Klein, head of IT for Marathon County, they tried talking to the FCC. The FCC couldn't help.
From my standpoint here at the Sheriff's Office, there's nothing I can do to make Frontier or a local telephone company do anything.
What we're seeing is that the phone system is aging, and there are also weather interruptions.
In 2011, Wisconsin followed a nationwide trend when the Republican-controlled legislature deregulated the phone industry. And with it, the power for government to require phone companies to repair, maintain, or upgrade their infrastructure. Retired UW-Madison professor of telecommunications Barry Orton fought against deregulation 10 years ago, citing the problems that we're seeing today.
After 2011, when the Public Service Commission laws were eliminated, then the companies were free to let the old-fashioned copper landlines deteriorate without maintaining them, without fixing them, without replacing it when they go bad or rust or when the squirrels eat them. And so as the equipment deteriorated, so does the service.
For many in the county, the long-term solution is expanding broadband. But in the short term, residents say it feels like no one is listening.
It's very unsettling. It's very disturbing.
Marcia Stencil got rid of her landline years ago because of these types of issues. But when she tried to call 911 for her 2-year-old grandson in crisis just weeks ago, her call with dispatchers dropped twice.
We feel as if our voice isn't being heard. We feel that our concerns are not being recognized.
I did have the opportunity to question Frontier doing a service call of my own, asked them why someone would be without phone service for a month. Didn't get much of an answer.
Because while we're waiting on broadband, residents across our area and the state could face a deadly crisis.
It's 2020. I think everybody deserves better.